Welcome to episode 6 of the Metal Roundup. And you may notice, as a couple of episodes ago, we had the same thing. We now have a special guest here today. The one and only Orion Reacts has joined the usual cast of Metal Burb, Drew Fortune, and myself, Steve OG. Welcome, Orion. How do we find you today? How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for inviting me today. I'm really looking forward to this. Sorry I'm late and fucking... Oh, yeah, are we allowed to swear on this? I'm sure we are.
Of course.
All right.
Be yourself.
We're not even
That's the whole
monetized
point.
yet, man. We're not even monetized. You can do what you want.
And no worries about running late too. I realize you're like the only person I can actually like yell at to hurry up. I can't do that to like a musician or something. But yeah,
It's
all
true.
good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good. It's all good. We have a beer here. We're happy out. You know.
Yes, I had to make sure I had drinks. I wanted to hang out with you guys, have a proper
Nice.
drink, and hang out. So I appreciate the
coffee.
chills and everything. Yeah, coffee.
Some
Everyone's got
Burb's
coffee.
letting us down, man.
Steve's got
Burb's letting us
wine.
down.
What kind of
Oh,
wine
yeah.
are you drinking?
I'm a classy bitch, man. I've got some Syrah Malbec.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Let's
It's
go.
acceptable. It's
I don't even
acceptable.
know what that is, but
Yeah, I know.
You'll
Ooh,
see.
Sarah.
that's how you know.
Ooh,
That's how you know
well
it's classy.
It's got alcohol in it? Great. That's all you
Yeah.
need.
back.
Just gets you a bit of a buzz. It's great stuff.
Absolutely. We have a lot
Hey, before
to
we get
talk
into
about.
this, I want to address one very important thing. Now, shout out to everyone who's been commenting on the podcast so far. It's been wonderful comments, really, really lovely. There's one comment I want to address. It says the sleep token meat riding needs to stop, and you know what? No, absolutely not. That makes me want to
No.
ride it even harder. That sounds
No
awesome.
chance.
How do you feel about that, Orion?
About sleep token?
Yeah, the meat riding.
Meat riding.
Well, you're not the you're not the
I
big-
get the terminology, but
you're not the biggest fan of them, right? Like you like them, but you're not like crazy. Like
I mean, I'm not gonna spend $250 on a concert ticket for them, but I don't know
would
how much they
struggle to
actually
do
are.
that
But
as well. That's a lot.
how much are tickets
Yeah.
in Toronto? Do you know, Burr?
I think it's something like that. And
Is it?
I just went to the Wembley show, so like I got my fix. But
Yeah.
if I got invited, of course I'd go. But I don't know. I wasn't in no rush to buy those tickets because it's so expensive.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like I don't mind Sleep Token. Like I really like him. I like reacting to him. I like more of the different stuff. I like when it kind of goes all wonky and a little bit more reaction worthy. If I was going to sit and listen to it on my own, I mean, I like their singles that they do. So obviously, like the Summoning and those weird songs that I can just really jam out to. I like, but I've been enjoying listening to them. Not gonna lie.
Yes, they're classy. They got all sorts in there. But also, that's part of it as well. It's you have a lot of people in the world saying how good they are, but also music is subjective. It might just not be your sound. My wife fucking hates Sleep Token.
Mhm.
Cannot
Oh,
listen to it.
really?
Just the voice. It's like Marmite for her. She's like, cannot listen to it.
Oh.
Yeah, my
Just
girlfriend
sad.
doesn't like them either, too. So
Really?
yeah, it is what it is.
My fiance likes them. Yeah, it's
yeah?
not like we go out of our way to listen to them, but she enjoys it.
I think they just don't have enough BLEGH. That's the problem.
Dude, but they do it live though.
Oh,
Yes.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
He did an arf, fucking Vessel arfed
What?
recently at a line. No.
He does what he wants.
Oh,
In what
that's
song?
Good question. I think it might have been like The Offering.
Like he did it
Oh, I think I might have
live?
seen that, yeah.
Yeah. It's not on record, but live. He did it. Yeah, it's just like take a bite. He starts rocking out and he's like, arf.
Oh,
Just
okay,
take a
that's
bite.
how it fit. I'm like,
Yeah, The Offering needs something like that towards the end. I seen a cover of some guy doing it years ago, and it's fucking incredible. It's like a scream towards the end. You know the riff that like just keeps repeating toward. It's fantastic, but there's just a moment in it. I can't remember. It's obviously he does the take a bite part, but I think he might just he adds in some kind of like a raspy like growl or something towards the end. I was like, that needs to be re-recorded by Vessel and just do that way. It just sounded so good. One of those things that I never even knew I needed until I heard it, and I was like, yes, that makes so much sense now. It's so sick.
Is that how you feel about the BLEGH, Orion? I know you're very keen on the BLEGH. Is this something you didn't know you needed until you heard it, and then you're like, I must quest for BLEGHs forevermore?
It's weird how that kind of like started out. I mean, it's not. It felt very natural at the same time, but like where my name comes from, like Orion, like it kind of came from like the O breakdowns and stuff like that. So like Chelsea Smile from Bring Me the Horizon, it was like, oh, like I got the secret. And that used to be like my intro for the longest time when I first started YouTube. So the O breakdowns is kind of like what made it. And then meeting my fiance now, she kind of like more or less introduced me to the BLEGHs, and we kind of like had this like connection towards it. And she was showing me like Wage War, and like she's like, you need to listen to like Of Mice and Men, they got some BLEGHs and this and that. And it just kind of became like more of a brand situation. So I was like, we were on a search for like BLEGHs and BLEGH breakdowns, see what we can do. And obviously Architects as well, she kind of like put me more on towards. So yeah, it's been a really cool journey to kind of search for all the BLEGHs. And I feel like it's just, as much as everybody I feel like is getting annoyed with it or says like, oh, it's overdone, I'm like, yo, give me the next best unique BLEGH situation, and it's just a grand old time.
And that's me. I'll be the one to say that's like overdone too.
Yeah. And I get it. I mean, it's kind of my life right now. It's like my clothing and everything. Sure. So I get it when people say like, or they see my content a lot. It's like, yeah, it's probably overdone, but at the same time, like I just love it and just kind of keep searching for it.
I think that's fair enough, but also you must just get inundated with people going like, "Oh, I found a BLEGH. I have to send it to Orion." That must be your inbox for days, right?
It is, and it's funny when like people do message me. They're like, I have a song for you, but it doesn't have a BLEGH in it, so I hope that's okay. I'm like, bro, I listen to a lot of stuff without BLEGHs too. Like it's not my life. Like
you
it's
should
not
just say
life.
no. Like,
yeah,
no,
fuck it. Get out of here with that bullshit.
That's trash.
That's a testament to your marketing for your own brand being tied in with that BLEGH. Because I personally can't remember the last time I heard a song that featured a BLEGH where I didn't look at the camera and say, I can't wait to see what Orion thinks about this. Like,
where's Orion?
Like literally the most recent one with the Chris Motionless one. Like I know you haven't put out your reaction, which I'm very keen to see on that one. But like I literally said that in my clip. I was like, where's Orion? Every time I hear it playing now, every time I hear it now, I'm like, it's fucking Orion. Where is he going? Like, when's he going to show up for this one, you know? So
I love
fair
it.
play on the branding side of things, man. You fucking nailed it. Like, everyone in the scene now, when you hear a BLEGH, it's
synonymous.
So
yep.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Like, I mean, I don't really like to take credit for it, but like, I as much as it's cool to be like the BLEGH guy, I guess, but like, even Burb's seen it as well. Like when we're at concerts, everyone's like, "It's the BLEGH guy. It's the TikTok guy." Yeah, it's like the BLEGH guy. So it's like, I guess I'm the BLEGH guy.
But if you enjoy them, they're fucking great. There's no problem with that.
100%. It's great. It really is. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The question is, are you going to keep enjoying it like 20 years from now? 10 years from now. Maybe 5 years.
20 years. Not even 5 years. It's 20 years. I'm going to be like, what? Fucking 60, 65 years old at that time? Yeah. I'll be that old guy just blecking at people while I'm old and like got
In
the
a wheelchair,
walker, like, and just scare the shit. That'll be my content.
Oh, yeah. It's forever. No, you're good. Right.
But then, Burb,
The
you
thing
let
is,
it go.
I don't
Like,
even have a
similar
tattoo
thing.
for a BLEGH yet. So
Yeah,
that's got to be done, man. You got to fully send it with the brand now at this point. Just get it on your fucking... You don't even need the cap anymore, man. Just
forehead.
cross the forehead.
Like Ronnie Radke style, right above the hairline.
Yeah,
for sure. Man, yeah.
Classy.
Yeah.
So classy.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying your recent...
at the moment, Orion.
I do. I haven't got one in a while though. I think it's been a minute.
I was gonna say that would be a great first tattoo idea, and for content as well. Just the BLEGH on your back or something.
I told people, like, even when I started like doing these like YouTube videos and I started getting into the BLEGH, and it was a, what did I say? I think it was like 50,000 subscribers and I'll get a BLEGH tattoo. And we're almost at 200 and I'm like, oh, I still haven't got one yet. So
yeah, maybe push that out to 500k or something, you know.
You didn't say when. That was key.
Yeah, when or where.
Yeah.
You should do it on your stomach. Just BLEGH like
no tramp stamp.
Oh yeah,
right
that's
on
better.
the back.
Yeah. Flash it at any time you're doing a video too.
Yeah, I'll bend over when I'm like throwing down, and you'll see the BLEGH on my back, right above my ass crack.
Hot dogs in your mouth. Man. People are like, "Oh my god, why am I watching this guy?"
I don't know why, but I like it.
Yeah. Trying to explain that one to your partner. What are you watching? Just porn. It's probably easier to explain.
I know, porncore.
What happens if you go to Pornhub and put in BLEGH? What comes up?
Are you actually looking that up right now?
Of course I'm not.
You looked over there. I'm like,
I was selling the
just own it, Steve.
caricature.
Own it. I'll look it up.
Let me look that up real quick.
Yeah,
you do it, Drew.
But I've been
Live,
enjoying
though.
your recent content about the missed BLEGH opportunities. Those have been great. I didn't know that you clearly have some vocal history to yourself. They're delivered very well, sir. I know
Thank
that
you.
there's some post production things. So you'll do the intro to the camera, and then you'll go along with the production stuff you've done earlier, right?
Yes. So like
what's inspired
I'll
for
do
this?
like an intro just to kind of like wind it up and like introduce whatever I'm doing. So some people, well, like how I'm kind of starting it, like I want to do collabs and stuff with other people and get their name out, their band and stuff like that. So like I have a couple of people that are just kind of like in the works of doing that. But yeah, I mean, I have a little bit of a vocal history, but not that anyone really knows of. So, I mean, I used to play in bands. I did a little bit of vocals and played some guitar, but honestly, I had a friend of mine. He asked me if I wanted to do like not even a collab, like be featured in one of his songs, and I did it, and I was like having a lot of fun with it. And I was like, man, I should really go after that missed opportunity because I've had this idea for a long time. And I love putting bless in just random songs. I'm like, this would be kind of cool. I'm like, I could take, the big songs like Falling in Reverse and throw bless in it and, see what happens with it. And people were just loving the vocals on. They're like, holy shit, I didn't know you could do vocals. I'm like, bro, same. This is just for fun.
It's a fucking great idea, and I
Yeah.
clearly, I know I fucking talk about this band all the time, but so obviously what Vessel's doing, he's like, this was a missed opportunity in this song. I'm gonna now do it live, So
Yeah.
that's cool, man. I'm
Thank
digging
you.
it.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun for sure.
And that's the key. I mean, we obviously sometimes here we talk about our content and stuff, but if you're enjoying it, fucking keep doing it. It's that simple, because the whoever's watching or enjoying it will feel that same thing.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of like, I mean, I get a couple messages here and there and people ask me, they're like, can you mentor me? Or like, I'm looking to start a reaction channel and this and that. And I'm just like, just start, man. Just, make 20 videos, see if you even like it. Because I think that's the main, driver when we are doing this. And I think you guys can attest to this as well. It's like loving what you do, loving the music, loving, doing the reviews and thinking you have like and thinking and knowing you have a voice to like kind of like say what you think about songs and stuff. So I think it's a very good idea, even if people are not into it. Dude, I used to hate reaction channels.
Yep,
I think
same.
we
Bert
all
said
did.
the same thing.
Yeah.
I never hated them. I was kind of like, really? Are we getting to that point in society? Is this a thing? And then you realize,
Yeah.
oh, I actually love watching these.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying
yeah.
this. There's something
It's
to
true,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, I was always pretty on board with them. I think if anything, I've gone the full 180, and I now dislike them more than I did
Hate
when
yourself?
I first started. Yeah, pretty much.
Really?
No, but like I started off when I really enjoyed checking out. And you guys know, I think I've maybe spoken about these guys before. Lost in Vegas. They're two guys who are kind of like hip hop heads, but they branched
cool,
out
yeah.
into metal and stuff. And were they the people that kind of got me? No, they weren't. But I remember watching their content and I was like, this is fucking sick. It's just so enjoyable. They're just checking out new music. And then I think that was kind of part of the reason. I'd already been making content on YouTube anyway, but then I was like, let's try out this reaction video shit. And then fucking 4 years later, whatever it is, now look at us. We're on a fucking podcast talking about reaction channels,
That's
Yeah,
wild.
it is
Yeah,
wild.
for sure.
But yeah, like reactions, and then also like Orion, you got some cool content with the videos, like the vlogs of concert vlogs and stuff. There was one concert vlog. I don't know if you're willing to talk about it already because it just happened, but it's
Here we go.
spicy. It's spicy.
Yeah,
I just watched the video as well, by the way. I just seen
the new
video
one
you
that I just
posted.
dropped today.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even know
yeah.
what it's doing right now. Like I was out, like I dropped it and then go picked up my wife and everything, went to go grab dinner, and I'm like, what is it doing? I haven't even checked yet. But yeah, it's a little, I mean, it's not spicy, but I mean it kind of is at the same time.
It's spice.
Yeah, it's good. It's good because I think it needs to be addressed at the same time. And even that, I think Alpha Wolf actually, they posted something about it on Twitter. I don't Twitter, so that's more like Metal Burbs vibe there.
Oh man, I hate it there.
You love to hate it?
I
But,
love
like,
to hate it.
They said something about like that situation where I just kind of wanted like, and I was debating on like even making content on it for a minute. And then just kind of talking to people, I'm like, this fucking sucks. Like, why is this even happening? Like, I have to say something about this. And I've seen, like, honestly, like, watching Tank the Tech's stuff on it, I think really helped me in a way. So it just kind of gave me that like, I guess confidence to like talk about it. Because I remember watching all of his series when he was talking about Body Snatcher and We Came as Romans and like how that stuff kind of like exploded. And I'm like, man, I have footage of this. Like I can really go down this rabbit hole on it. So
For the audience that doesn't know what you're talking about, what
yes.
happened?
Yeah, so what happened was basically I went to Alpha Wolf, so they're on tour right now with Amir, Unity, TX. I think they're from Texas, and what's the other one? It's like Combine? No,
Metal.
no, it's a far
Definitely not coming. That's not a thing.
But yeah, they've played a great show. Don't get me wrong, and it was a great concert. But like, yeah, so I was doing some video. I have a 360 cam, and basically caught on camera with the security guard just smashing one of their fans after crowd surfing. So like, he picked him up, put him down, and everything, and just started smashing him in the face with like full blown punches. I'm like,
That's fucking crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, like 4 or 5
Were there others
punches
crowd
to the
surfing that
face.
night, or was that the first one and they just went, "What is this?"
It was pretty early into their set, so the first 3 songs is like when I'm able to do like video or press. So we got the first 3 songs. So I think it was like literally like second. Yeah, I think it was the second song that they played, and then this guy got kicked out of that. So I don't know what fully happened, but from like even now, like I have messages in my DMs and everything, and they're talking about like, hey, like I saw this guy in the pit and everything, and they're like, he wasn't doing anything wrong, he was chill, this and that. Like no one's seen or heard anything from this guy. So yeah, it's quite a wild experience to see that. But I'm like, thank goodness for my 360 cam, because like if I had a normal camera, I'd be like just pointing towards the stage the whole time, but it can see everywhere. And that, oh man, when I saw that, I'm like, ooh,
That's
gonna be yeah.
It might be a good thing to call it out, right? Because like you don't want that kind of shit to happen at any show, especially if the like kid is actually being like well behaved. But if you're going to go back to the Danforth, it's going to be a little awkward, maybe.
Yeah, I was kind of scared about it as well. Like, I mean, I do a lot of like, I guess like press and stuff like that. Not so much press, but like for my own content, photo pass and that. So like, I don't want to run into confrontation. Like if I run into that guy, I mean, I hope like, I mean, I don't really hope, but like justice needs to be served in a way.
100%. You gotta stand by truth. Truth and fairness is like, it's gonna be a hard path, but ultimately
exactly.
It makes you invincible.
I mean, like when I look at that video, I think all those security guards, if they are watching it, it's like, dude, like, don't do that for one. And you should be pissed at this guy for doing that. Whether or not, there's no explanation for you to be slamming on a guy like that. Like, you could be a police officer, and like, even that, like, you're not supposed
Their
to
job
do that
is not
shit.
to retaliate with like violence. That is insane.
Exactly.
Their job should be to defuse any violent situation. So I've been in a crowd where someone's crowd surfing over me, and you might get kicked in the head, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Sure. So you could see that as an act of like accidental violence, because the person's not in control of where they're going. That is different from a security guard going, "I'm gonna hit you in the fucking face." That's not the same thing.
It was like 4 or 5 times too. He just kept nailing him.
He was winding up.
No.
It was crazy because I liked how I like kind of like dissected it as well, because like I wanted to know a little bit more. I'm like, all right, like I rewound it to the beginning of the song and everything. I tried to pick out this guy to see if there was like any confrontation in the pit or anything. Didn't see anything, and then like just scrolling up, and it's like even afterwards, it's like, wow. That's crazy. But
even
I mean,
if there was, let's say this person was starting fights in the pit, right? The security guard's job is to, with force, get them out of the pit, perhaps, and then remove them from the venue. It's not, let me just have a moment here to punch them. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of security guards. Sorry, go ahead.
If there was like that guy was like, you know, maybe in the pit fighting the security guard, I can see him defending himself and maybe throwing a punch back. But when you're waiting for the guy and like pulling him out of the crowd surfing spot and just wailing on him, I'm like, that's a whole level of messed up.
That feels like that person's exercising demons. That's what that is.
I think you were dead right to call it out, man. You did it with like class as well. Like I watched the video before we came on, and I think you played a pretty balanced side of the argument where, you know, you he didn't jump in and like go directly for the security guard, because obviously there might be certain things that you just maybe couldn't have caught. So I think you were smart to do it that way, because if you just really try and like go after someone, you know, there could be some detail that comes out after in the aftermath that you're like, fuck. And then the video's already out there and you've maybe done damage to his reputation or, you know, the venues. But I think you did it pretty well. And to be fair, it's not the first time and it's not the last time we're going to hear about security with just egos who are just waiting for an opportunity to just punch someone's head in. You know, it's just like, there's a lot of people in these venues, and it doesn't just, it extends beyond the metal realm with clubs. And even in Dublin, there's only recently a story there in Dublin with security that are just like dying to use their power, that, you know, and overextend their power as well. So no, you're dead right to call it out, man, because you might get one security guard that has been close to that a few times that now might just think, okay, hold on, we're in a different era now. There's cameras fucking everywhere, and you know I can't afford to lose my job over this shit.
Oh,
you know?
shit! Orion's in the trench, guys. Cool it tonight.
Yeah.
I didn't know you actually put the video out. Like, I didn't know it was actually out. That's awesome. I thought you were, I didn't see that on my notifications yet, but yeah, no.
Oh, you haven't watched the video? Yeah, I made a full blown video on it now.
I just got the clip that you sent me. And I just saw that.
Yeah, I had to send that to you. I'm like, bro, what I like caught on camera. I sent it to a couple people, including Tank as well. I'm like, dude, what should I do with this? He's like, fucking do something with this immediately. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll try. I'm like, this isn't up my alley of making this kind of content, but it definitely needs to be addressed. So
definitely.
Yeah. For sure.
Given it's your footage, I think unfortunately it was bestowed upon you that was your duty in that moment. So well done for taking that up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, and it's for everybody else as well. Like, just for the safety, it's like, keep your cameras running, if anything, as well, because like you know, something like that happens. And I'm waiting to see like something like close up as well, like some of the people that were filming that right in front of the stage. I'm like, I kind of want to see that angle as well. And I was like, it's nuts.
I don't want to be accidentally incorrectly identified as being a problem in a pit and having a security guy beat the fuck out of me. So great. Get the alarm bells out that's a potential risk that needs to be addressed. Like
100%.
For sure.
Yeah, and then when you go back to the venue, then they got to watch out for you.
Well, that's the thing too.
360 camera, you see everything.
Yeah, like, and I know like half the security guards that like go through these venues and stuff like that, and I messaged a couple of them and I'd be like, hey, like, one of your guys, I don't know if you know him or anything, but like, this is what happened. And he's like,
they should be thankful for that, because that, you know, they don't want that to sully their own reputation if they're doing their jobs correctly. Like, they want that to be highlighted. Okay, let's fucking get that guy out of this particular profession. It's not right for them. You know?
Yeah, it was a hard situation for sure. I'm like, man, I love you as a security guard. I feel safe. And I told him, I'm like a couple of the people that I sent this over to, I'm like, I feel safe when you guys are there for security. For one, just, you know, you guys are homies, but I like the way that they do things. It's like they handle it very professionally. So I'm like, yeah, when that shit comes up, I'm like, yeah, this is not good.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, from terrible real violence to comedy, well, not comedy, but comic cartoon violence in the world of Falling in Reverse. That's been the biggest thing that's happened recently in the metal scene, is that Ronald music video. The production value of that thing is so off the charts. I'm thinking it's great because we're getting more entertainment. It's getting a massive audience to be interested in like metal and some more kind of alternative music. That's awesome. But also, like, is that bar getting too high for entry-level bands to be like, well, how we compete with this kind of video? Like, that's absolutely insane. There's a green screen with part of the helicopter in the like backstage looking at the thing. It's fucking intense, man. What did you make of that music video?
I mean, the music video was insane. I think I commented on the video. I'm like, when does the full movie come out? Because like each video is just like a trailer to like a full blown movie. And honestly, I like it. I mean, I don't think like smaller bands could really compare to that, and I don't think they should.
No.
But you look at the way, you know, Falling in Reverse has like, you know, continue their journey, and even with Ronnie in Escape the Fate, like, you know, he had to go through the dirt and this and that to get where he is today, to put like millions of dollars into like a production like that. So I don't know if it's like him or the label at all, but like I think it's smaller bands shouldn't be relating to that. I feel like a lot of the smaller bands should be just kind of focusing on content, getting their name out there, like, you know, work with the TikTok stuff. And a lot of bands are doing it. They're popping off. They're doing a lot of good things in that sense. So yeah, I love the production on Falling in Reverse, but yeah, I don't think people should be comparing themselves to that, at least, if you know what I mean.
Maybe not at production value, but perhaps at least focusing on entertainment value, something of interest, not just a warehouse with some like strip lights.
Yeah. But it also sets the bar as well. It's like, this is what is achievable. I know, you know, it's a very far way down the line for a lot of bands to even think about, but, you know, it's like, it's a treat when they drop a video. You know, whatever you think about Ronnie as a person, I think you objectively have to look at, even if you were the biggest Ronnie hater in the world, you have to look at their videos and say, my goodness, this is like, even that's on par with like some of the biggest hip hop videos that I've seen. Like, I'm thinking production value wise, some of the videos I've seen that really stand out over the past couple of years is like Sicko Mode by Drake, the one with Travis Scott that has like, you know, one of the biggest songs ever fucking created. Like, that video was unbelievable. It was shot slightly differently, but when I think of production, I think like these guys they're doing the same kind of thing, man. Like, it's insane. It's mind-blowing stuff. Again, completely take the musical aspect out of it. If you just look purely on the production side, it's like, for smaller bands, you know, again, there might be no money involved at all, but it's setting the bar, and it's like, this is achievable if you keep going at it. So it's a positive thing, you know.
And musical standpoint too, it's not just Ronnie. You got Luke Holland on drums. You got Jason Richardson writing guitar parts.
So
that's another
true.
thing that gets so overlooked, because I got a little bit of backlash, like especially in like on Discord, that a little bit for featuring it. But like, if we're going to be music reviewers, you want us to be completely unbiased. That's how a proper review should be. How'd you guys feel about the song after some time?
Well, yeah, sorry, you can answer that now. I've got a follow-up question. Go on, Drew.
Yeah, no, I thought it was the...
Throws it on Drew. Like, go on, Drew. You're up.
I gave the song an 8 out of 10. It's very hard to fully, on a first reaction, which is what we're doing, it's very hard to fully critique a song when the video is that good. Like, that video is as close, like, that video is a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 video. It's like the pinnacle of videos in the metal scene. Like, it's just, name me another video apart from something by Falling in Reverse that's that good. So it's very hard to take yourself away from the visual aspects when you're rating the music, because that's what we're doing here. I gave the song an 8. I would probably maybe bump it a little bit now that I've heard it a couple more times. I love that there is more emphasis on the guitar segments. They've always had fun moments, but I just feel like there was actually more notes being used, like, just from a guitar standpoint. There was one really sick riff. It's in the scene where he's like running through the offices with the helicopter, like shooting him. It's like, it's maybe, again, the riff was sick. It was fun, but I think just the visuals, again, it's so hard to like separate the two because it just works so well. So I thought the song was sick, man. I mean, it's always such a fun experience.
Have you seen like the behind the scenes footage for that yet?
So cool.
I haven't.
It is. They had like things exploding in a green room, and I'm like, wow, like it looks so neat how they filmed it.
Yeah, it's like the Matrix or something, the way that they filmed it. It's just like, it's crazy. So over the top.
Yeah.
My immediate sentence, I think, after the video ended, the song ended, was that video was really distracting. It was exactly, I think, what I said. Because like, I'm trying to focus on the music, but when there's so much going on, it's so entertaining visually. It's very hard to. And I know that that's going to throw a little bit of my more like reasonable critique thing. But I also think that's fucking fine. Like, when it comes to Falling Reverse, I less look at it as like, well, what are they doing with the chord progressions here? How interesting are they? I'm more going, this band is about going to the max, entertaining you sonically with dynamics and variations, and screams and some louder moments. Like, just how much can I entertain you from start to finish? And that's what they're doing visually as well. So all kind of goes together in a way that makes sense. And so my rating system's much easier. Like, it was delicious. It was fucking great.
It's delicious.
Delicious, yeah.
Follow me, I'm delicious. I don't know if you know that content creator, but he's hilarious.
I clearly need to look them up.
What about you, Burb and Orion? What's your takeaway after? I know you've checked out both your reactions, but what's the final verdict now after a week or so?
I love it. I think people are going to get upset with me in my community when it's going to be in my top five.
This is
my
my
top 5 songs.
This is my follow-up question. You're saying you're taking some heat, and on what aspect?
Oh, because Ronnie is like a douche online. He's the WWE heel of the metal world. That's how I started my video, because he mentioned that in an interview. I watched the Rock Feed interview, and you guys know what a WWE heel is?
The bad guy
Yeah.
playing the bad guy.
Yeah, basically it's
Yeah.
the bad guy. So they work off like the crowd. The crowd kind of goes boo, and they just feed off that energy. So that's exactly what he does. He feeds off that energy, and he just becomes the big villain of the
Bro's
scene.
Logan Paul of WWE for
He's,
metalcore.
he's the Logan Paul of the metal world. But like, yes, but the musically, like honestly, I love chaotic music. I love songs that have point A to point B structured, that don't have the typical structure. So like, there's so many things about this song that's just speaking volumes to me. Now I have listened to it on Spotify. It doesn't hit as hard. It doesn't hit as hard without the music video. But when I review things, I'm always reviewing both the song and the music video. I recently did that with Disembodied Tyrant. I gave it a 10 out of 10, which I barely do. But I'm comparing it with the music video and the song. Like, it's just like a whole fucking experience. And that's how I felt about Falling Verse. It's experience. And then I put it on Spotify. I'm like, yeah, this is still sick. Doesn't hit as hard without the video, but it's still sick.
Yeah.
What about you, Orion?
I mean, I liked it. I mean, I feel like the features, I think, were like a really good touch on there. I mean, having Tech 9 on there, I thought was just phenomenal.
I loved that. Drew was not a fan of that bit, but I thought it was.
I didn't like that part.
great.
No. I don't
I
like
liked it.
Tech
I
Nine's
like it
style of
now.
rapping. But anyway, continue on.
You say you don't like it?
Yeah, he said.
I think of all the parts, Steve,
But that's
there
the
he
thing,
is.
though. Like,
Listen to Steve.
Yeah,
I can hear
yeah,
him.
yeah. Drew said he didn't like it. You fucking have a go at him.
Hiding behind his wine. No, that was my least favorite part of the song. I
wow.
enjoyed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I really didn't enjoy it. I just feel like it was. I never enjoyed. Ronnie had a moment in which song was it?
Watch
He
the
had a
World
similar
Burn.
flow. It was Watch the World Burn. You know that. I just
Yeah,
don't
he had
like,
something
even,
like that.
Yeah, it's not. It extends beyond metal. In rap music, when I used to be a lot more into hip hop, I've never enjoyed that style. So that's just.
It's a
Do you know what it is?
preference, then.
Do you know what it
It's
is?
a
It's the
preference thing,
blast
yeah.
beats of fucking rap. Is what it is.
It's the blast beats. That's a good way
It's-
of putting it, man. Yeah,
it's the
absolutely, yeah.
technical fastness. But the thing is, I love Buster Rhymes, and he's fucking king at that stuff as well. So I think that's where
Yeah.
I'm in.
Last beats are
Yeah.
cool. So I like it.
It was lyrically weird as well. It was just like, I think that's a lot of what people were coming at as well. Like, I know Ronnie's got a crazy past, and you know he's a controversial character. Alex Terrible obviously being at the end, which is just another talking point. Obviously he's a controversial character, and then Tech 9, not a controversial character, but the lyrics in it, I didn't delve too deep into it, but it just, I seen people complain about it, and you know people are going to complain about absolutely everything on the internet. It's just it is what it is. But
Bro, people are
even
complaining
reading
about
it-
me shoving hot dogs in my mouth. Like,
Because there weren't enough hot dogs. What's the problem? What's that?
yeah. Apparently,
Yeah, the
5 hot
vegetarians,
dogs
man.
isn't enough. So yeah, you're like an
yeah,
amateur. You're a rookie.
Yes, you have to think about the vegetarians as well, man. Like, fuck.
Yeah, the first video I did, I'm like, oh, I gotta get vegan hot dogs because I know like Chris Motionless is vegan. I didn't want to
Oh
do
my
that.
god.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
no, it was all fun. But like, yeah, I get that. It's a very I guess preference in style of things. So like when I first kind of like discovered Falling in Reverse, like I really enjoyed that. So like the song Champions, I don't know if you know that one, but like he has that same flow with the rap in it. And then in a couple other songs as well, like Rolling Stones and stuff as well. But actually they kind of recycled the whole breakdown of Champions from Falling in Reverse, and I thought that was really cool. So like I'm kind of used to that style of me like rappingness from Ronnie. Like Ronnie has like a whole like rap EP as well. I don't know if you guys have ever like dove down into that.
I heard about it, but I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of normal to me is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I've been reacting to Fallen Reverse since the beginning of my channel, so for 5 years now. So for me to check out the new songs is not out of the norm. One thing that I'm not really crazy about, like, I know it's super controversial, but like, it's just like, there's certain people that are kind of shy to say that they like the song, I've noticed in my community, and I just don't like that bully mentality. Like, people are like, I like the song, like LOL, like kind of scared to say it. Like, it's, if you like the song, just admit that you like the song. We're just talking about like art. And even I shared like a clip of Ronnie that I thought was hilarious, but you know, they didn't really like it either. But it's like basically he's going like his TikTok was like, oh, why do people hate you? Why do I have so many haters? Why do I reply to all the haters?
You sent me that last night.
Because I'm insecure. I'm insecure. And yeah, with the music cue, he literally admits that he was fucking insecure. I thought it was the funniest thing.
But of course,
self-aware that I've ever seen him. That it was just so funny.
I thought you could relate to that video because he had like a bird on his shoulder, and it just kind of reminded me of like your.
It made me miss my birds, man. It did, actually. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
But is it like he's trying to become this larger than life thing, which I think is great. It's what rock stars used to be, right? But at the same time, he is a human being, like underneath it all.
If there's one thing that I could say like bad about it, and I'm not saying like it's bad, but like Ronnie's focusing on all the fucking negativity.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, it's all negative. I'm like,
that is a natural human thing. But do you mean like in terms of discourse or just about himself?
No, he's
like,
making a conscious effort to lean into it, you know.
Exactly.
On purpose.
He is like leaning into everything bad. Where like if you say something bad about him, he's on it for content kind of thing. Where it's like, we're out here doing reactions, and he does that too. Like he'll definitely support the reactors and stuff. He's reacted to mine and duetted stuff, and like has helped, you know, kind of do some stuff for me as well. So I get that, but I'm like this run. I'm like I just noticed he's like just focused on everyone that's just like negative towards him. But I get it.
Yeah.
Well, I thought at first I'm like
as well, you know.
Well, I thought at first it's just basically him being like insecure, right? But then I'm kind of after listening to the podcast that he did with Rockfeed, I'm like, oh wait, no, he's playing it up. He's purposely calling out these people on Twitter for engagement. He's playing this big villain role. He's
done it since the beginning, really.
Yeah, he doubles down on it. And guess what? Like Funverse has like 5 million views now. He knows he's not dumb by any means.
His partner's literally in the UFC, not in the UFC, in the WWE, the girly scene. I don't know if it's his wife or his girlfriend, but she's in the WWE. So I'm sure he's taken some bits. Am I correct in saying that? Sarah or something?
Soraya or something. That's definitely.
She's.
I made that connection WWE, too.
Like, yeah. So
I didn't really notice that, but I was gonna make some dumbass joke about it and be like, is it Ripley Rhea or
Rhea Ripley?
Yeah, because I know he doesn't like Motionless and White. And
yeah.
But no, it's definitely not.
And she was wearing a BLEGH shirt too.
Oh my god! Don't even get me started. She wasn't even wearing my BLEGH shirt. I was so sad when you sent me that. I'm like, I don't want to fucking talk about it, bro.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was pissed off on your behalf too.
It's all good. I mean, it's cool. Ripley, Rhea, what was her name?
Rhea Ripley. She's like the WWE superstar in the female competition, and she's just badass. Right. Like she's so badass, and she has like Motionless and White open up for her when. So she's doing good things for the metal scene too.
Just a theme song made from Motionless and White. Yeah, that's her like outro to like go out to. But she posted a photo on Instagram, and it's just a BLEGH shirt, and it wasn't my shirt. I was like, no. I wanted to DM her and be like, hey, let me get you a proper BLEGH shirt.
Yeah.
I don't think
you should.
But really, what's going to happen is
I don't think she
like
gets
Nike are going to start making BLEGH shirts for her, and it's going to like people are going to think.
Dude, I would. I'd be like, send me your address. I'll give you every drop. Like,
but here's the thing, though. Like, let's say the man does lean into negativity and feed that and the rest. Does that mean, Burb, you shouldn't react to it? Is that the sense of the things?
Oh well. I make my own decisions, so not me. But
I get that. But like,
the argument that I've seen. Sorry to jump in, but this is kind of like I think we touched on it before, but I don't use Twitter. I stay away from all of the drama on the internet, and I don't really know much about people's personal lives. But the reason as to why people are so, from what I've seen from my own community and just from people across the board and in comment sections, is like there's this whole history of Ronnie and like. Again, I don't know if there's like transphobia and stuff. I don't want to like veer the conversation down this route, but I feel like it would be silly for us to not even bring it up. But I don't think it's Ronnie being silly on TikTok and like bringing people up and like, you know, getting mad at people. That's not why people hate him. It's all of that kind of stuff. So, you know, I think it would be unfair to not bring it up. You know, just if you know, that's why
you're adding context.
But that's why people are more so pissed off with certain reaction channels platforming him. But I guess, you know, you could say the same thing about, you know, if that's his opinions. you know, these are some, you know, this is some other person's opinions. I'm trying to like dance around my words here very carefully here. But, you know,
You're doing great.
But
You're
I feel
doing
like
great.
we'd be doing ourselves a disservice to not bring up the reason as to why a lot of people don't fuck with Ronnie Radke, you know?
This is
There's
what I'm trying to
a bunch of
understand.
bands
It's
that I
part of the
disagree
conversation.
with. There's a bunch of bands like from all sides, right, that I disagree with, but I also, you know, talk about how discourse is important. We need discourse, and there's nuance and things, and like, you know, the whole Ronnie thing is he's an asshole. Like, let's just call a spade a spade. He's a jerk online. He does some questionable things online. I don't agree with all the time, but you know, like I mentioned earlier, the point of what we do is I really feel like I'm more of a music reviewer than a reaction channel because I really focus on my reviews. So because of it, I'm trying to do unbiased music reviews. Like and I barely pay attention to lyrics anyway. Unless they're very controversial, then it's probably hard not to notice. But I didn't notice some of the controversies on the first listen to Ronald. But like, well, steering into a different topic, but like Sleep Token, people think I'm like a Sleep Token simp and all that. But like, if you watch my review for This Place Will Become Your Tomb, it was like my top 5 most disappointed albums of the year. So that's what I mean about me trying to be unbiased to everything that I hear. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
That sounds totally fair. And like when it comes to Ronnie Radke, I don't know the man. I don't know that he's an asshole. Like I'm not watching all his TikToks and tweets and stuff, so I don't know all the context. And I think that's okay. And like if I did know, if I saw some evidence of some things I didn't like, then maybe I wouldn't cover it. But like at the same time, I don't really care. Like I'm interested in music. What's that doing? Is it pushing the art form forward in an interesting way? Is it not? Like I don't really notice lyrics unless they are so poignant and they really cut through. Then they hit, and then I'll maybe notice something there. But
exactly,
for the most part, like
there's a lot of noise online.
I'm sonically interested. Generally,
yeah, for sure. But just to kind of like keep it somewhat on the same conversation, but it's slightly a pivot. Bird brought it up earlier on, and it was the new Disembodied Tyrant EP, and I just wanted to touch on that briefly because I think it ties in quite well with the conversation that we had with the production value of Ronnie Radke's video, and like, you know, obviously it's like the pinnacle. You know, it's absolutely insane, and bands can aspire to, you know, be up there. But at the same time, the Disembodied Tyrant EP, and I believe, I'm nearly certain this is correct. I've seen some comments about it. I think one of the artists may have spoken about it, but the video, like Bird mentioned, is fantastic, and it works with the music so well. But I believe that's all stock footage. Like they've just like probably ripped it from a stock site that you can just buy stock. So to say that, like, I don't know. I know stock footage sites can cost money sometimes, but it's nowhere near the value of what Ronnie Radke is putting into his videos. So it's so cool within the space of a week or so to see a video that was so captivating, like Falling in Reverse, but then also Disembodied Tyrant dropping insane music with an insane video that probably cost, I don't know how many thousands of a time less value than Ronnie Radke's video, you know? So I thought that was like a fun, because we can pivot off into the Disembodied Tyrant as well, because those songs are fantastic. I was listening to Winter today, and
I've never heard any of that stuff.
Hell yeah!
So that's
I love
it. It's so good. It's so good, man.
Steve, I'm not sure if you would like it. It's really, really heavy. So...
Is this the one where Drew, your thumbnail was you, like with a chainmail suit?
Yeah, that was great. I love that.
Yes.
Best thumbnail of the year.
Yeah. So, well, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, bro.
Well, I was just going to say you're absolutely spot on with that music video. It is stock footage. I think I read a comment somewhere that he did in like 12 hours or something, like before the song was released, just gathering all this footage and then putting the lyrics. Such a simple idea, but those music videos just kill. They look so cool. It's just a lyric video with really captivating visuals, but this music itself is... Oh man, I gave it a 10 out of 10. I've only done that to Sleep Token Ascensionism, and then I would probably do it to an Aviation's Outliers. But like, to me, Steve, I would love you to hear it, because they take that symphonic deathcore sound that Lawrence Shore does. Shout out 10 if you know them. They just make it perfect. They make it perfect because it's basically classical music in the heaviest way possible. And I'm a big fan of classical music, so that's why I dig it. But like, after I put on my title, Metal Song of the Year. Like, that's bold words. I know when I'm saying that, that's a big sell. But people are just like, yeah, this is a fucking masterpiece. People in the comments are like, yeah, this is some of the best music I've ever heard. So,
all right.
If I'm going to use a title like that, I'm doubling down. I know that when I say that, that's a bold statement, but I stand by it.
Well, you've piqued my curiosity, certainly. I'll
Yeah,
check
well,
that out.
it's,
Orion, have you heard it, Orion?
I
Sorry?
have.
Yeah.
I honestly,
What do you think of it?
my final, I love the EP. Was it 4 songs? I think it is.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
So Winter wasn't my strongest one. I honestly thought that was the weakest song on
Right.
there. Everyone
right,
said
okay.
it's the best song on the EP. I'm like, no.
Poetic
like,
Edda is pretty
The
tied
first
with it.
one's good, but like all the other ones were really good as well. But Winter's cool. I don't think it was like as heavy or like what I wanted. It was different. It was cool. I love how different, and every song does not sound the same. I think you're getting something different in each one, and I love how Burb said it as well. It's like you're getting classical music with like deathcore, and I think that's like the perfect like situation to call it. Like that's exactly what it is. It's really neat.
Winter is a classical song covered. It's Vivaldi. It's literally a Vivaldi song, and they just covered it into deathcore setting, so that's why.
Like actually, like that's
Yeah,
what
they use a lot of the
shit,
same
okay.
melodies, so it's basically like almost a cover song.
That's a neat. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I did that though.
Don't you remember the breakdown in Vivaldi music?
Well, so
Yeah, that was
Drew,
the-
like from someone who I know, The Pain Remains was not your favorite thing you've ever endured, shall I say? It's a big shout for you to say this was something great if it's in the deathcore world.
Yeah, like I mean, first listen, I gave it like an 8.6, but man, it's in the
That's
fucking
big.
the mid 9s, man. It's in the mid 9s now. I was listening to it
Wow.
earlier on today. Now it's weird because I know we have very similar tastes when it comes to this deathcore world, Steve. But at the same time, I like it. I really enjoy it, and it's gonna be up there one of my songs of the year for sure.
Wow.
But I don't know if you like it, even though we
For
have similar
what song?
tastes. This is for Winter, the last track on the EP. I've heard the
See,
full EP.
okay.
Yeah, but
Is
I
that
just
when we
think
rated you?
Winter
I think
is-
we rated you like right after I was done it. I'm like, yo, you have to check out this album. I think that's what we said.
Possibly.
we did.
I'm not sure, but similarly, I joined Steve's stream and I was like, Steve, I need to see you check out this Disembodied Tyrant track because it's not even like I think you're going to love it. It's more just because
I'm
it's such
all
a dynamic
for
song.
interesting experiences. Like, there's
Yeah.
a couple of people on my Twitch who will request songs that are they know it's not my comfort zone, but I value that because it's going to push my boundaries and open up new avenues. For example, if we want to go to a different topic here, Knocked Loose. Now,
we
that
gotta talk
vocal
about that.
styling is fucking total Marmite, right? And I have been on the side of like, ugh, that same high frequency scream vocal. I cannot deal with that. But my community is trying to exposure therapy me to Knocked Loose, and it's working, which
There
is
you go.
insane. The song that they did with
Ooh.
Poppy, I gave a masterpiece. It
I
was
saw that.
fucking incredible.
That's a good song.
And it had this like reggaeton dance hall breakdown, which
Yeah.
was awesome.
So good.
So exposure therapy can work, and maybe that will happen eventually. For all I know, but right now, my opinion is that blast beat should be no longer than 8 bars. Beyond that, it's just awful. But maybe in future, I won't think that because once upon a time, I hated scream vocals entirely,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now I love them. So exposure therapy to deathcore. Maybe in 5 years' time, I'm like, listen, if it's not symphonic deathcore, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I know. Wait, end of the yeyear, 120 bars of blast beats. So you're like, yes, masterpiece.
So calming.
It's impossible to bring up the new Knocked Loose album without asking Orion when the Slaughterhouse 2 reaction is dropping. I need to see what you got in store for us, man.
Dude,
I need to see.
I had it lined up to like finish it today, and then this shit happened last night with all of the Alpha Wolf concert thing, and I was like, oh no, I gotta put this out. So yeah, I'm still waiting. I'm hoping I'm probably gonna drop it tomorrow. I was gonna like send it off today and get cleared for copyright and that, but I just don't have the time, and I really want to get it out. I know people will wait for it and like will enjoy
They'll
it
wait.
for sure, but like
They'll wait.
yeah, I've incorporated my 360 cam into this reaction, which I thought was kind of cool and kind of
Ooh.
I've
different.
seen this, yeah.
So I'm like
They were the cursed pictures that I'd seen.
very curious.
Pictures.
Yeah, they are weird.
There are some weird POV video going on. So I'm kind of excited to
incredible.
experiment with that.
If you go on Pornhub and you search BLEGH, you see those images.
yeah,
Orion with a bunch of hot
First there.
dogs.
I have my own
Yeah.
Pornhub fucking link and everything. Oh my god, just hot dog.
But without spoiling your reaction to Slaughterhouse 2, then what did you think of the album? You've heard the full album as a whole, yeah?
Yeah, I have heard the whole album, honestly, and I think I called Burb like right after this too. I was like calling him like, I'm like, what'd you think about the new album? Because you did it right before I did when I jumped on. I was kind of curious to see what you said. So, I mean, I liked it. It was okay, but I honestly don't think it's album of the year, which a lot of people are saying, I think. And it's an acquired taste. Again, it's not loose. I liked it. Like I have, they sent me like the whole album and everything, like a vinyl. This is my first vinyl that I've ever owned. So like I did like a box opening and stuff, and I love it. It's really cool. But like I love their singles more than anything, and I think their singles carried that album. If besides from like, I mean, their first song was really good. I enjoyed that as like an opener, and then the Slaughterhouse 2 song was very good as well. I've been listening to it a little bit more and more and more, especially like editing and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, this is a really good song. But everything else, but like I thought there was one song, it was like 56 seconds, and it sounded like the rest of the song after that. I'm like, why didn't they just put this into the rest of the song? Like I just don't understand this. So there was like a couple moments like that
or something.
The Poppy song's the best one.
Poppy one, I like that one a lot. I think that was very good. And I think like what's her name? Poppy has like a weird similarity to Brian's vocals for sure. So I would love to see her more on stuff like that. That'd be really cool.
Her screams in that were haunting. They were fucking
great.
incredible. And like there's footage of them doing it live together, and live she kills it as well.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Okay, so hold on. Let's go back to that live, because I heard there was like a live version, and I heard it from like, was it not Sick World? It was like another festival that she performed it live with them.
Rockville?
Maybe. No, that was after, I think, Sick World. And maybe it was Sick World. I can't remember. But apparently, like, I don't know, like her vocals weren't like top notch, I guess, to what I thought was going.
Same thing, bro.
Okay.
I seen the video, and I literally said it. I was like, does she sound like? Not, I'm not gonna say terrible, but at the time I was like, this sounds not good live. You know, on the record it sounds fantastic. I
can't
really
remember what
did.
it was from.
Whatever video I'd seen, it just didn't come across well. No, it was recorded from a phone in the crowds. But,
this is it. Like you have to appreciate that sound carries in a really weird way, especially when you're outdoors, but also in any arena. The waves travel differently. You kind of want to be in front of the sound desk to get the right mix of things, because that's where the sound engineer is going to be. But everything else, you might have pockets of weird silence for certain frequencies. I'm not like, who fucking knows? Maybe she did sound like shit, and I just got a weird.
Like I hear you, but it was like it was like her already quite. I like it, but it's quite a jarring cadence. It's similar to Brian Garris. Like, you know, it's quite an acquired taste. So it was purely it was even screechier than the actual recording. And it just
my wife would fucking hate it.
It didn't have the same impact for me. I've seen one video. I'm purely going off that. Maybe she just had a bad day. Maybe I've seen a bad video. I don't know.
Honestly, I feel like it sounded like she didn't warm up. It was like a last minute thing, and she went on stage to go perform it. Like, that's what it was, in my opinion. Like, I've only heard it once or twice, but I'm sure it slaps. But I know there was a little bit of like controversy of like, oh, like that's what it sounded like live, and I get it, but.
It's just one video too. Like, I saw a different video where it sounded fine. She could have been having an off day, like Drew said. The sound mixing could have been a little bit off too. But one thing that I want to mention before I forget is that you guys know Anthony Fantano, right? So,
I have that written on my notes right beside me.
Well, this is big news too, because actually, I'll give out my opinion on this.
We're professionals, Orion. No.
Yeah, we got notes. I actually don't have anything.
He says, having refilled his glass of wine. I'm a fucking professional, man.
Yeah,
I'm all out as well. I'm all out.
Yeah, so am I.
For Anthony Fantano, I respect him so much for like all the content that he's produced. Super hardworking guy. He's the #1 music reviewer, like that's statistically and by far, right?
Yeah.
But I don't personally like respectfully disagree with a lot of his ratings, because I just feel like he's a little bit out of touch with the metal world. So I don't really take his metal reviews seriously, because I feel like he reviews and listens to so much music that he's a little bit out of touch with certain genres. And I use this as an example, but like if you're going to a mechanic and you drive like a Mercedes, you don't take it to like a Ford shop or a shop that knows all the cars, right? You probably want to take it to a Mercedes dealership. So like a music reviewer, like he just does everything. That I feel like he's a little bit out of touch when it comes to...
He gave Sleep Token a light 2 for Take Me Back to Eden. What are you fucking talking about? Like, listen, I'm simping on Sleep Token, but like, Lower than a 5, you're high. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, I know, right? I totally feel like I felt like he was being a contrarian for the sake of it. Even using the Imagine Dragons, that's such a surface level comparison. Like, if you dive deeper into their music, they're way more like Bon Iver or something with metal elements. But with Knock Loose, he gave it a 9, and that is so cool. Finally, he's praising something in the metal scene, which we need. I still don't trust his metal reviews.
I think he wants to be cool. I honestly think he's a music nerd that wants to occasionally be cool. And he thinks it's cool to be like, sleep tokens, not all that. And he's like, oh yeah, Knocked Loose, I get it. You know, I think it's part
his
of
bias comes across.
With Loathe as well. Didn't he?
He
Did he
gave
have
it
a
a
weird
6.
take with Loathe? Okay, right, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I can sense the bias when someone asked me in my Discord, were you surprised that he gave Knock Loose a 9? I'm like, not really. Judging by how I see him online, I'm like, that seems like something that he'd probably like go for. Like, since I do follow him, like I feel like I can kind of predict where he goes. I knew he wasn't going to like Sleep Token. I didn't know he was going to give it a 2, but I knew he wasn't going to like it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's something that he just hasn't really heard of yet. I mean, like Knock Loose is kind of in its own genre at the same time as well. So maybe it's just that click in his ear that just maybe just set it off for him. Like I don't really watch a lot of Anthony's content, so
same.
I don't really know how he does his reviews that much. I think I'm no more Finn than I do Anthony. So
yeah, totally different. Like he likes like mathcore. He likes Code Orange. He likes like some of the more raw, intense, chaotic, violent, whatever kind of bands.
Yeah.
So it is more up his style for sure. So that's like another reason why I guess I knew he was going to give it like a 9 or something.
Maybe he'll see that as proper art because it is out there and edgy in its own way. Maybe he felt that Sleep Token was more performative. Maybe that was the issue. I don't really know.
Yep, I think that's a very good summary actually.
Now, Drew, we've lost your camera there. You coming back? What's happening there?
I think he's wasted. Oh wait, no, he went to go grab a drink. I'm pretty sure.
All right, take his camera off though. We could have watched him. FPV that shit. Get your 360 cam.
Yeah, I got a 360 cam. Yeah.
I want to see what your fridge looks like. What is in your fridge, Drew? I know you can hear me. No, he doesn't have wireless.
No, he's out of the studio now. He's gone.
Yeah.
I have some. This is a more cerebral conversation. I'll wait for Drew to come back. But what I did enjoy is, and I love this about kind of interviews and podcasts in general, because I had one thinking about Knocked Loose and what I assumed Brian would be like as a person. And you see an interview with him and you realize, oh, they're a normal human being, the dude. And like hearing about the poppy reggaeton breakdown, it came from like a joke scenario. Like, well, fuck it. Like, imagine just being a reggaeton. You know exactly what the beat's going to be every single time. Like, what if we did that in metal or our music? Wouldn't that be fun? And then they did it for fun. And the payoff was huge. I love that aspect of it. They're kind of pushing some boundaries in their own way. And I think more of that. But it didn't feel like it was a total handbrake turn of insanity. And that's what I also enjoyed about Following Reverse when it comes to the rap moments. It doesn't feel like a total handbrake turn in the song, like, oh, we're doing rap just to be fucking weird. It's like, it felt like it transitioned well into it and out of it. It's kind of thoughtful. So I enjoy both of those artists for those kind of reasons.
Yeah.
I mentioned before, but genre bending is like the future of metal. Like, I feel like it's the way to make it like more accessible. It's gateway, you know, people who like Tech 9 probably don't even listen to metal. I actually had a lot of comments in my videos saying like, bro, I don't even listen to metal, but this song slaps.
I got a lot of that too.
I love those comments. Those are like my favorite comments.
Let me teach
That's great.
Yeah. Insane.
Yeah, no worries. But also,
by the way, I was very unprofessional there. I just had to go to the top. I was standing here like a child for like 20 minutes, just like waiting for a moment. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to butt in here, so I'm gone.
You've got the smallest bladder in the metal scene, man. It's okay. You're fine.
That is an actual stamped fact. Like,
but here's the other thing, man. If we don't have bands trying to take bits and pieces from other genres and push things forwards, we're gonna all end up. Oh, I'm about to annoy a lot of people here. I just realized I can hear the baying crowd.
Do it.
We're all going to end up like the Iron Maiden fans who just go to see Iron Maiden and no one else. And like they go, this is real fucking metal. And it's so dated and out of touch and uninteresting and like really, guys, at this point, because it doesn't progress. And I enjoy this like TikTok meme or Instagram reel of what genre is Sleep Token? I know. I'm so sorry. I keep talking about Sleep Token. And it was like, is it progressive
You're taking
metal?
the heat in the comments for this now, right? Not me. Not me or Bird. It's you.
Get
This
him,
episode.
They described Sleep Token as progressing metal, which
Yeah.
I loved. I love that as an idea. Like they're taking an R&B in bits and pieces. And when you first hear it, when I first reacted to some of the songs, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing, lads?
Yeah.
But they've done it thoughtfully, consideratively, which same thing Knocked Loose have eventually done, or Falling Reverse Ronnie would do. They put so much thought and effort to it, going like, this is intentional, that when you allow the initial what to go away and you spend some time with it, it makes sense. And that's what progresses things forwards. It makes it more interesting. And then we won't all be eventually in our battle jackets as Iron Maiden fans. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I hear you. Slight
Okay.
pivot, but sorry, go right.
Oh,
Go.
sorry. I want to talk about
Go.
this reggaeton thing again. So this is the first time I've ever heard this term before, and it kind of threw me off because I'm like, why is everyone calling this like what is reggaeton beat? And I'm like, I just don't listen to that type of music, but I'm like listening to it. I'm like, I get the beat to it, but at the same time, I'm like, it just sounds like Knock Loose. So,
But that's the beauty of it. You don't just, like, as I say, like handbrake turn into a reggaeton song or a dance hall song.
that's what I mean. I'm like, where's the Spanish lyrics? Where's the da, 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 da?
You
Like,
take the inspiration from something that is outside your normal box of quills in your bow, whatever the fuck. The
I mentioned that
and add it.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but I mentioned that in my review too. It's just like you probably know this, Steve, but like Foo Fighters not Foo Fighters, but Dave Grohl from when he was doing Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. The intro beat is actually a disco beat, and
It's
I
from
mentioned
the fucking. It's from the Temptations.
Yeah.
It's from the Gap Band. Like yes, that
and
is
I wouldn't
how
have known
things
that
move
unless I
forward.
heard a clip from TikTok from that. Like,
I mean, here's a wild, deep thinking thought, but no one really has original, genuine thought.
Cue the music.
All creativity is taking two things that other people have not noticed how you can combine them, fusing them together, make something new, and then carrying that forward. Everything is borrowed from things you've been influenced by or experienced from the past. So, of course, the way you get rare creativity and innovation in music is from taking two seemingly unequivocal things, combining them, and taking them forward, which is what Knock Loose have managed to do. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Fantastic. You've nailed it, Steve.
You nailed it.
No, you're dead right.
he's not even done his full glass of wine yet. He's killing it.
That's my second glass. We're fine.
Oh man. Slight pivot, I guess. Unless does anyone else have anything else to add on Knock Loose before I just skirt us out?
You're good, man. Go for it.
We're good.
We're good.
I think I'm good.
Speaking of, jumping in and out of, I guess what Steve said, like the older generation that just won't move on.
Oh,
It's a weird pivot. Like Monster Flame's new album, okay? This is where I'm trying to go with this. Okay, now I was bombarded with people asking me to check this out with, like, this is
not heard it yet, but go on.
so different.
Yeah, same.
I've heard it.
It just isn't. It's great. Don't get me wrong. But no, I feel like this is a problem with expectations. A lot of the time, I went into this like expecting another Heavener by Inventanime, and it was good. Great metalcore.
Had
But
you
it
heard the
was
singles
still-
before going into the album?
The single that you reacted to made that song look a lot better. Similar to the Ronnie Radke Falling in Reverse situation. Someone sent it on my Discord and we had a little chat after, and I actually watched the video after I heard the song, and I was like, okay, this video actually makes this song hit harder. The intro riff is so sick. But as an album, it is good in parts. There's some good melodies in there, but it just... And they take a lot of inspiration from Fit for an Autopsy as well. I was listening to it, I was like, this sounds like Fit for an Autopsy. And then I Googled Fit for an Autopsy, like Moss the Flames, and they had a tweet from like 2021 where they retweeted Fit for an Autopsy and were like, best band to ever exist. So I was like, I can hear the influence there, it was very obvious to me. But the album, it's really solid. I gave it like an 8.1, I think, in the end, but it was more so the expectations that I'd had. I know it's quite a like popular album in the scene at the moment. So Burb, Ohrion, you guys checked it out, yeah?
I have, but Fit for an Autopsy reference to that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like some of the lead work and some of the actual like groovy like slamming moments and breakdowns was like, oh my god, this sounds like What the Future Holds and See a Tragic Beast. I was like, I could just hear so much of it, and then I was like, this is so similar in parts that I have to check this out. Google it, and there was a tweet from like 2021, and they were like, It was like Fit for an Autopsy when they had mentioned their new album dropping, and like Moss the Flames retweeted it and were like the best band in the world or whatever. And I was like, they're taking that inspiration, you know. So
I wouldn't have made that connection. That's surprising because I've heard like 4 songs, and so I kind of already feel like I know what to expect with the album. And to be honest, there's so many times where there's comments being like, "Burb, check this out! Like album of the year, like this is incredible music." And then I check it out, and yeah, I'm disappointed because you get those comments all the time. All the time. So every album is just album of the year. So that's why I also kind of like when people say that, I'm like, yeah, it's not going to be my album of the year. Like I'm already going to go into it. I'm sorry. Like
you'll also see it from other reaction channels and thumbnails and things. I listened to Imminence to Black late, and I was like, man, everyone fucking loves this. I listened to it, and it's like, I don't love this.
Yeah. Well, with the like Moss of Flames, it's funny that's like Fit for Autopsy, because when I was reviewing the singles, I was saying like, oh, this feels like they've been listening to a lot of Invent Animate without like the emotional aspect. I'm like, this just sounds like Invent Animate, but it feels like this was a hot take that I had, but it feels like it's almost like a step backwards, because what Invent Animate was doing is like they took that technical playing, but then they made it more emotional, showing different sides to the band. I'm like, yes, this is what I needed from you guys, and that's why I enjoyed Heavener. But then listening to like Moss of Flames, I'm like, oh, this just sounds like older Invent Animate stuff. Like it's just like very technical. It's good metalcore, but it's nothing that's overly exciting in a creative aspect for me. Like they got good riffs. Good riffs don't make a good song for me.
Yeah. My entire final piece on that album review was, this band sounds like the middle ground between Fit for an Autopsy and Invent Animate. He's got the shades on. He's fucking ready for business.
The dude from the Big Lebowski is here.
Like it's that glare of light that's coming through.
Just
close your blinds.
Dude,
put some tinfoil on your windows or something.
Oh, I know I need to. It's funny. After that, my opinion too. Like, come at me. Like
that's your like
fans.
thug shades. Right?
Yeah.
We should all pop on one of these with just shades on the whole time.
That's why I said Burb should have had them on for the whole stream, for the whole thing, man. He should have kept it on, but look, we're here now.
And none
Bro,
of
it
us
looks like
mentioned
you should be in like Top Gun or something. You need the aviators on.
Yeah, that's what I need. That's what I need.
For sure. Well, yeah, just to round up on a middle ground between Fit for an Autopsy, Invent Animate, I felt like they didn't lean too far into either one. But at the same time, if they leaned too far into Fit for an Autopsy, I'd be like, this sounds too much like Fit for an Autopsy. So bottom line is, I'm impossible to please.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I kind of disagree with that. And that's what I like about having these conversations. Like honestly,
Absolutely.
like when you said breakdowns, I'm like, where was the breakdowns? The whole album. I'm like, why isn't there like the massive? There were some good chunky riffs and stuff like that. There were more like riff down breakdowns, but I feel like their transitions going into those could have been a little bit more stronger, a little bit more bass, hard punching style. And I like Moss of Flames. Don't get me wrong. I think they're really good. Their BLEGH game was on point. But this album, there was not a single BLEGH. So, I lost brownie points on that for that. So, but I don't know. I thought it was good. I think their last single, was probably like one of their better ones. I can't remember what song it was, but it felt more original, like Moss
Over
of
the
Flames.
Garden Wall.
Maybe. Yeah, I think that's probably what it was. And it just had that, like it just had a really
It was
cool...
techie, it was genty, but it also had a bit of groove. It had a lot in it. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'm hearing that like now. That was the main riff.
Maybe that's what it was.
Cool,
it was a sick riff. But
is that the Ghostbusters theme tune? What are you talking about?
No, that was the video you did, I think. It's a sick riff, but when I seen the video, I was like, this riff is so much cooler now that I have the video. But when I heard it first time, I was like, yeah, it was fun song, but yeah. Decent album.
That's my take on
it was just the expectations. I think I'd never heard any of their albums prior to this, so I went in like completely fresh. I was like, okay, this is a good place to come in because I have no expectations other than people are saying it's really good. And then it was just kind of like, it was.
When you refer to that band, though, like I think of like, sorry, what was it? Fit for an Autopsy. When I think of that band, I think of The Art Is Murder.
Right, because when I think of Fit for an Autopsy, I think of Gojira, who I think they're heavily
Oh shit, I don't
Gojira.
even like Gojira. I can't get behind them. That's crazy.
It's funny when it's so funny when you start following like bands that are like openly inspired by certain bands, and you're like, okay, so Gojira I'm not saying they took all their inspiration, but there's so many riffs that are like, this is so inspired by Gojira. And then it's like, okay, well, Moths to Flames are inspired by Fit for an Autopsy, and you just follow down,
That's
and then which band
crazy.
is going to be inspired by like Moths to Flames, you know?
Mhm.
So it's funny how
I
those
love it.
But what's
little
great about that as well
trails.
is it's not necessarily that you would prefer the original to the one that was inspired by. Because, for example, there's a band that so many bands I adore have been inspired by that
Is it
I
Sleep
can't.
Token?
No. That I can't fucking listen
Sleep
to.
Token already.
Sorry, I had to do it.
For example, one of my all-time favorite bands, a band called Reuben, and one of their big influences was a band called Every Time I Die. You listen to them?
Oh hell yeah!
I fucking hate their music. I viscerally.
Every Time I Die?
Yeah. I don't think I've ever listened to a full song. I can't.
Yeah,
Oh
I've
no, I
never heard
have
a full
once.
song.
I did once on Twitch like 2 nights ago.
No, God, please, no.
How many soundboards do you have there? Fucking hell, you've got one
Hell
for
yeah.
every emotion.
I'm gonna have to
I
look
had
it up.
to. I had to. How dare you? How dare you
Honestly,
say anything negative about Every Time
I've
I Die?
listened to one of their songs in full. It was 2 nights ago, or no, it was last night on Twitch.
Oh shit!
And but everything else, I just can't. I just hate it. It was called Fear and Trembling. I thought it was awful, but I love some of the bands that have been inspired by that. So it's like it's not necessarily that the original is always the best. Some of this is subjective, right?
If
It's
you
all subjective, Steve.
listen to Radical the album and you still hate it, I can't trust your music taste anymore. No. Like
It's you know what it is. Like, there's my take. It's art, and it's like it's fully aware that it's art, and I'm sure
What
there
a
are.
get out of jail free card. It's
art.
Yeah, but that's my point.
Hold
That
your
is
wine glass up when you say that.
shits on it, and then he's like, I fucking hate this.
art.
But
And you know what?
It's
That
art.
art's not for me.
Nah, you're right. I'm just trolling. But
that would make
fucking
for some
someone
good
else's
hot
hair.
takes. Bands that people love but you hate.
I mean, I've had one there every time
we
I
could
die.
probably do a whole episode on that. to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's a good future episode. Possibly.
Let's start with the
Yeah,
guests
for
in the
sure.
hot seat. Orion.
Oh no! I was trying to think of bands that I hate that
Yeah,
other
I'm trying to
people
think
like.
as well.
Yeah, get spicy.
I like
Ryan.
all bands.
If you guys can
Well,
think of one, think of it right away. I'll try to.
I have one. I mean, the obvious one for me is Lorna Shore. I don't hate Lorna Shore, but I just
Okay.
don't like that style of deathcore.
Avenged
like that
Sevenfold. I
symphonic-
fucking hate.
Ooh.
I gotta go through my
No, I don't hate
Spotify.
Metallica. I don't hate any band. I don't hate. Hate is the wrong word that we're using.
Okay, Trivium.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm not a Trivium fan. Honestly, their last album, so good. I really enjoyed that, but like everything, maybe the album before that, I like a couple songs off there, but like everything before that, I'm like, I can't get into.
Yeah, they're kind of dad rock at this
I'm
point,
sorry,
aren't they?
Channy.
They're
I know
not-
Channy's listening. I'm so sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Hey,
Same
I had,
that
like-
was a good album.
That's a
I
good
had,
pick,
like-
though.
Yeah, I had like a
That's a
whole
good
series
pick.
going on like one of my other channels, and it was like, does Orion like Trivium? And it was like all my bad reactions of Trivium.
It's a good pick because it's spicy, not necessarily. Well,
And dude, I respect the shit. I'll
Matt-
just make this
yeah.
clear. Yeah, Matt Heafy
Of course.
The
is
goats.
amazing. He's a great dude, and what he's done for the community as well. Dude, Alex Bent rated me on Twitch like not too long ago, and I was like so fucking hyped.
you
I'm
don't
like,
have to say this. This
But
is not
he's a-
part of the conversation. Like,
I
this is
know.
subjective
we
musical
know.
take.
We know.
Avenged
you like these
Sevenfold, who
guys.
I don't enjoy at all, they've done very well from themselves. Clearly, most people disagree with me. That's fine.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Like Alex Bent, I think, is like one of the most like underrated drummers as well. I don't think he gets enough credit, to be honest. I think
mustn't,
he's
'cause I don't know the name.
phenomenal. Alex Bent, yeah, he's there.
he's crazy good.
Really good. Yeah.
Speaking of drummers, it's not really. It's
Drum roll,
actually
please.
The worst. It's
Hey.
the worst segue ever. Our last video, we spoke about the Slipknot new drummer.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Slipknot are now teasing. They're just teasing a new song. Is it that even news?
No,
I don't know.
that's-
I just
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to
I think
mention-
it's news to me. I didn't know they were teasing.
But
a new
they're,
song.
Yeah, but
they're
also-
teasing a new song with him. and
We need to
there you
talk
go.
about
Of
it.
course
We need
they're
those
going to
views.
do
Yeah.
that. All right.
Yeah, this is perfect clickbait title right here.
We got a lot of new. We have to address it. We got a lot of new Slipknot fans from the last episode, which was absolutely fantastic.
We
You know,
don't
you're
know
very
that
welcome here.
we've got a bunch of new Slipknot fans from it specifically. I know it's got a lot of views because we talk about Slipknot, but that doesn't mean that the Slipknot fans are the ones that subscribed. We don't
Steve.
know that.
Steve, We know they're Slipknot fans. Okay, we see in the analytics, it's literally the Slipknot section is like,
But they might not have
bro.
subscribed. Maybe the ones that
fair,
didn't
that's
like that
fair.
part subscribed. We
That's
don't
fair,
know.
That's fair.
Maggots. They're called maggots.
Yeah, mega.
Maggots.
It's true.
The maggots.
Yeah.
I actually had
Sorry, I
somebody
have
in
to
my TikTok DMs, and someone was saying, she said, she's like, I've just been getting into this deathcore music now, and I just booked my my first show to Slipknot on their 25-year tour. I'm like, that's cute. She thinks Slipknot's
Yeah.
deathcore.
Oh, yeah.
That is sweet.
I think that's the general consensus though. For people who aren't into metal, like deathcore is just everything that's heavy. Anything that has
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
distorted guitars is just deathcore to people who are just not into metal, to be fair. But yeah, that is cute. It is cute.
But yeah, that drummer, man, I don't know much of him. What band did he come from?
Sepultura?
Yeah, that band.
Oh, okay. I know that drumming. Yeah,
He's got that Brazilian fan base coming with him as well. Brazilians are so passionate, and they are like, even in our comments as well, you can see this Brazilian flag showing up in the podcast. It's fucking fantastic. But yeah, it seems to be a from what I've seen so far, a very good match for the two.
They
Like,
seem
he's a
delighted.
fucking huge star in his own right. He was already a well-established name, so bringing him in just made sense. He's well used to the big shows and the limelight, I suppose. But yeah, they have the new song being teased. They posted something today. Burp, did you have that post, or did you seen that post?
I just saw somewhere that they're teasing something, which I'm excited to hear, especially if they go back to their old heavy roots a little bit too. But yeah, I'm giving Eloy like 2 albums before they kick him out or something. But yeah, I'm stoked for this new era for the next 2 albums.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I'm of the opinion that I'm probably not going to like anything that Slipknot put out. From like, I feel like I've just not enjoyed the last record enough to I don't know. I'm kind of writing myself off so early. I don't want to be that guy either. But when you just know your taste, I just don't think they're the band for me anymore. But I'll definitely listen with keen ears.
Oh, I'll react to the fuck out of that. Yeah, of course.
Oh, of course, for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Like,
My Patreon link is down below.
I count myself as a Slipknot fan. I've seen them many, many times. I've enjoyed a lot of what they've done. But I'd say the last couple of albums, actually, like I've enjoyed the experience of listening to them first time around. I've just not really revisited them, which is interesting. So perhaps, but the thing is, they may come back around. Who knows? They may not. That's also fine. But I'm excited to see what they do next, because it's fucking Slipknot.
Yeah. True. I feel like they're on their victory lap a lot. It feels like their best years are behind them.
That's not said. Who knows? But they deserve the victory lap, if nothing else. Like,
true, but it just that's what's kind of like made me a little bit more excited with bringing Eloy in as well. It feels like maybe a new lease of life into the band, because it did feel like very commercialized over the past. That just seems to be the general consensus online, that it's become more of a business that they're trying to keep alive, as opposed to something that they're all as passionate about the music as they used to be. So
I mean, I think going forward, they'll be off of Roadrunner Records as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of hope they're gonna go a little bit more into something different.
Yeah, I hope so too. Like, I'm just excited for new Slipknot. I'll take that any day over Corey Taylor solo stuff.
I mean,
I think that's
we can
part
agree
of
on that.
my distaste for the latest Slipknot is hearing that Corey Taylor thing. Yeah.
He can't be stopped. He can't be stopped.
Yeah, he can't be stopped. All of our new subscribers are just
Corey motherfucking Taylor.
Listen, we respect the man, of course.
I love CMFT.
Should we,
You want?
go ahead, Steve.
There is a topic I'd love to chat about. I think, Orion, you're very well placed to help us unpick this particular thing. So I'm interested in the dynamic difference between like long form music reaction review content and the short form world of TikTok and Reels and the rest, where of course we're going to go with the most surprising and peak and interesting and heaviest, or whatever it is, most notable moments in a song. I worry long term for humanity in a way that what we're going to potentially do, all of us, is highlight these things as these are the best things that we enjoy, and then all artists are going to try and write songs that are constantly surprising and insane and like ADHD in their own way, and we might miss some of the joy of allowing a song to breathe and build up. Are we, as we do short form versions of what we're doing, doing more of like it's kind of window shopping. Hey, if you like this, maybe listen to the whole song. That's kind of best case scenario that we probably hope for. But is there a risk that we kind of are aiding the shortening of attention span musically into just like, give me the fucking heavy breakdown, the heaviest, gnarliest thing you've got? What's your take on that balance of things?
That's a really good question, to be honest, especially like the way that we're like transitioning. I think we've already been, like, transitioned into this kind of world of like, yeah, even I mean, I highlight every breakdown, good moment spot, especially like trying to get these newer bands heard. I don't think there's a lot of content to be made when it is just like the build up spots and stuff like that, unless it's like a very important spot to like to the breakdown or like to the build up to the chorus and stuff like that. I've had some stuff kind of like take off into the courses and stuff like that like really pop off, which is kind of cool to see as well. I've always been hit or miss of like just doing, you know, just breakdowns, but I like to showcase a little bit of the songs. But like I think our attention span has definitely died in that world. But I think just even doing long form content and seeing what people are actually talking about with how people are listening to music, I don't think it's going to die, to be honest. I think a lot of the bands, even like, or sorry, a lot of the fans, a lot of the people that are going to concerts and stuff like that, like, you know, they love these songs, they know the words in and out, and I don't think that part's going to die, if that makes sense. I mean, like, it helps, but I feel like there's still going to be a lot of things that people need to do to eventually start, you know, like trying to get their band out there, kind of thing. Like you said, what was it? Like we highlight all these breakdown parts, but bands are literally writing, I think, highlight moments in social media forums, and then they'll make the rest of the song around that just to get them to re-listen and get those plays and stuff like that. I don't think it's necessarily a bad way to start, but I can see that being a little bit of a topic of, or like a conflict of interest in a way. But feel free to elaborate on it if you guys want, and we can go from there.
Tell a song has like viral like potential a little bit. Like when I'm like doing like a edit or something, I'm like, okay, this has some potential here. There's like a female vocalist already there, and then like that's one thing. And then also like it's got a build up, right? And then like the drop, it's like I feel like when you're doing short form content, it's like almost a story. Like the first 5 seconds is that hook. It's that hook. It's like the intro, and then just like the build up, like where are we going, and then you get the payoff, and then you get the outro. But there's certain songs that just have that viralness to them, and I do agree that I feel like we're maybe harming music maybe in the long term, because you know what doesn't work for me when I'm editing, and I'm a big fan of this style of music, is editing prog music into short form content. Bro, like you are not going to get traction from that unless you have like a filthy breakdown. Then guess what? People are going to now download your song like, oh shit, the song's 10 minutes long. So that's the only way, right?
Yeah, you lost me there.
Yeah. So well, it happened to Sleep Token though. Sleep Token maybe is
true.
They went viral through the summoning funk section, but the song's actually 6 minutes long. So it's possible to still, and then they became, I don't know if that's necessarily true, because Sleep Token is a prog band or a progressing band, and then they still got viral through a little snippet, but they write long songs. So I don't think it's really hurting music, but I think bands are definitely aware of the TikTok world, and like they call it like TikTok music, or there's even a new thing that I'm seeing, reaction core.
Yeah, wow.
Bro, reaction core.
That was a lot of comments on Falling in Reverse. Is this reaction core?
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Steve, you posed the question. Let me take it away.
I think that's a Sleep Token. Go for it.
Let me just ride that meat a little longer.
You should change your name to Sleep Token OG.
Yeah. Sleep Tuggin.
Steve Token. Yeah.
Steve Token.
Steve Tuggin.
So
Sleep Token.
That's a good clickbait too. Like, dude, think about like the clicks you get from that.
Yeah. I think Burb has actually pretty much nailed this in a very nuanced way. Well done, sir. I think there is something to, yes, you're with the more short form breakdown. hyper focus on the surprising, interesting parts of it, you're going to reach a wider audience because that's so exciting and interesting. And there'll be a percentage of that audience, and in some cases, like Sleep Token seems like a large percent, that go, that's great enough, I will spend time with the longer songs. And then you build that fan base for that person through that window. That's probably best case scenario, I think. But also there is the risk on the other side where I have to imagine now that bands, when they're writing songs, will be thinking about, well, what are the reactions to this going to be like? Are they going to get bored? We kind of, in order to promote our new album, it's like when bands used to write, what is our pop single we can release that allows people to enjoy and have a massive reach, and then they'll buy our album. The version of that now is, what is a song we could write where the reaction videos might catch on, so then people will enjoy our other songs we really want to do. Maybe that's the world we're going into. So it's the same thing, but just in a different kind of lens.
The plot in You, Don't Look Away could be like that, even though I don't think that was the intent. But the music video was so like, oh, like so shocking that it made for good reactions. And then you listen to the plot and you're like, oh, these guys go really soft too.
Yeah. I think so.
I think the bottom line is that like short form content is going nowhere, and it's kind of a situation as a creator that is doing this, whether you're doing it full time or you're just doing it as a hobby. You kind of have two options. It's like, it's get on board or get left behind. It's not slowing down for anyone, and you either have the opportunity of sticking with the integrity of your channel and making long form content like we've always done before short form content even existed, and then just supplementing it with the short form content. Now, we're talking more of a global attention span thing as opposed to just music. Beyond, what we can even control is people's attention spans outside of music have just been obliterated by TikTok. So, is there a way that we can change the world and make all of this go away? If TikTok disappears, maybe so. But until that day, it's kind of unfortunately a situation of, I don't necessarily love making short form content, but I've kind of just decided over the past 6 months or so that it's like, well, I'm hurting no one but myself by not doing this. I mean, I don't always see the most obvious examples of like, this video on TikTok got X million views. My YouTube video hasn't got 100,000 views. So where is the actual benefit coming other than just promoting the band? Like, it's not bringing that many people over to the YouTube video. But if you can make 1,000 people of 1 million views come over, you've now got 1,000 new people that maybe, even out of the 1,000 people that come over, 100 people now become a fan of the long form content, and not just the content, like the music, if you're just talking about like expanding the metal scene on a broader basis. So I don't think there's really an answer, like in terms of being able to, say that short form content is ruining people's. I think it's going to be done anyway. You know what I mean? I think we just kind of you just have to make that decision to get involved or just get left behind.
I got a take on it as well. I think we don't, like, especially us as creators, we look at it more as a creator form more than like as a listener form, I think. Because like I see people all the time in my comments and stuff like that where like they really like a certain song and like they like the whole thing front to back. And that's why I don't think that like short form content is like killing the game in that sense. But I think Steve said it good as well. It's like that window that gets people into checking out a song. And I think that's what I go for too when I'm creating short form content. I'm like, okay, I got this nice band, it's got a really good breakdown and stuff. Sometimes I'll even chop up a little bit of my my reaction, and I'll grab like a hook at the beginning of it, and I'll be like, holy shit, what the fuck is happening? And then like it cuts to the breakdown after that, even though it doesn't go into that segue, but it's like, I'll kind of mix match that and make it sure that hook is there, so I know people are going to listen to it and go further and beyond with that. But I think these social media apps are actually taking a good advantage of that as well, and I think it's in their best interest to do it. But even I'm looking at TikTok, and TikTok has like a button now where if you post anything, you don't even have to tag it or anything. It just picks up with the AI, and there's a Spotify button at the bottom of your page when you have a song thing. Yeah, and I think we all have like business pages, but I think it's more into personal. Like if you have your things set to personal, you can see at the bottom it says add to Spotify playlist. It's literally connected with TikTok, so you just click that button, it goes right into your playlist, and you don't even have to leave the app.
That's
So
really
I think
cool.
there's some cool integrations coming into that, and I think if YouTube really picks that up, especially because I know Drew was saying like TikTok, you know, we can't really get rid of TikTok right now, but technically it kind of is going away. I don't know if you've heard the news or anything, but the US is like banning TikTok right now.
They're trying to. It'll probably just become
I did see that,
American
It's going to be like 4 years maybe when it happens, and then Canada.
Yeah.
Awesome, Canada. We're going to follow
But
suit.
the key is
Yeah.
the horse is bolted in terms of people's interest in that kind of content. So if it's not
Yeah.
TikTok, it'll be something else.
I think it's going to default back into like YouTube and Facebook Meta kind of vibe. Like I can't stand Facebook, but and Instagram. I think it's falling apart in that sense. But I think those kind of things are setting up very great success for new and upcoming bands and to help further along reach when it comes to music.
Yeah, you know what? Like, look at the silver lining, and it's a massive silver lining. But TikTok in general has exploded metal. Sleep Token, for example, right? So many people who don't listen to this style of music
Dude, look
are
at
just
Pierce
now
the
discovering.
Veil as well. Like it blew up Pierce the Veil and Bad Omens.
Deftones is blowing up too. Like
Yeah.
it's literally it's helping metal so much because like what else is there? You go to the radio, you're listening to the top 40 in pop music, right? And then you go open up your phone and you're hearing all this music that is never on the radio. You're like,
it's
oh,
exciting.
and then you get used to it.
The point of it is that it's exciting. So
it
works.
really is helping the metal world. So like I love what you said too about window shopping. I think that's a great way to use it. But yeah, speaking of the whole banning thing, to me, I think that's at first I was like all for it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's spyware. Like you get rid of that crap, and it is. But at the same time, like, what's the
So is
ulterior
Facebook.
motive?
Like,
why are
same
you
shit.
banning this now and not banning Meta? Now I'm a little bit
It's
like,
we're
not
getting
Chinese
political.
owned. That's what it is.
yeah,
Like,
I don't want to get into it, but that's me. I'm just like, now I'm thinking of all the other angles to this a little bit.
Yeah.
but to Drew's
yeah, I
point
think-
there, like I don't enjoy making short form content. I really hope I
Why
get
though? Why don't you? Because I generally love making short form content
That's
more than
great
long
for you.
form.
I love
yeah.
that for you.
Let's hear it though, Steve.
So what
Steve's like, give me another Sleep Token song and I'll make some short form
Thing is,
content.
I'm not even like a prog or long form song guy, like Sleep Token, like
Fighted
Tool.
Ohrion.
But beyond that, like I love fucking pop songs. I love Bill Murray. His songs are 2 minutes,
Bill
30
Murray's
seconds.
cool.
Fucking
Yeah, I love
great.
Bill Murray.
I don't know. There's something about maybe it's I currently have a disconnect between the effort that goes into creating a short form content, and I don't know what 1 million views of that means, or I don't know what that feels like. But I feel differently about someone spending time with 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or an hour and half, an hour and a half with me in a conversation about metal, whatever it is. I feel differently about the purpose of that and the interest of that in my life in a way. So I prefer generally long form content as a consumer and as something that I do. So I see the value in the shorts and TikTok and stuff. I hope I get to a point where I can afford to pay someone to make the short form content of what stuff I do. And I can, be out there, but not like have to be involved. Because from going way back to the start of our conversation, what you're saying, Orion, is if this whole thing is to be sustainable, it has to be enjoyable. And like the stuff that I enjoy the most is the stuff that I do in the YouTube world. It's a bit longer, a bit more nuanced, a bit more like casual, relaxed, conversational. So that's where my focus is. Because if you're not enjoying it, fuck it. I don't care how many views you get. You're not going to do it next year. You're just not.
Exactly. I totally agree.
To put it back to you, Steve, I know this isn't your full-time job at the moment, but if you were doing YouTube full-time, do you think that you would be in a completely different mindset where you're like, okay, I've now got all of my time to focus solely on content creation? The one obvious thing that I'm missing right now is the short form. Now, I get it. I personally enjoy creating the short form content, and when you do see like the absolute obnoxious return that you can get on some videos compared to like a YouTube full-length video, it's like, even if I can convert 1% of this ridiculous viewership,
I can
over
see
to
the
YouTube,
appeal of the
it's a
slot
win.
machine of it. I can see that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, for
slot
sure.
machine. Good
Slot
examples,
machine,
man.
yeah. It is, and again, the consumption of it isn't like, I don't spend much time like consuming metal content on TikTok, but I'll happily do it on YouTube because I like the substance of it. But if we're talking from like, you know, our point of view as creators, which we all are, I just find it's impossible to ignore. I just can't do it anymore. It's like you see the growth that's possible from short form.
That could possibly get you full time.
If I were full time, of course I would be spending time doing that because I see the benefit of it. However, if I were full time, I would probably be in a position, I think, to pay someone to do that for me. That's what I would try and do. Because I want to do, Josh is I want to spend as much of my time, and this is surely the whole point if you're becoming self-employed, doing the thing you want to do, spend as much of the time as possible doing the thing you enjoy. I get the sense from yourself, Orion, correct me if I'm wrong, that you enjoy thinking, what can I do in the edits that will really elevate this and help someone visually see what I'm feeling and translate that. That's part of the fun for you. My whole fun is listening and naturally expressing what I'm thinking and reviewing it and talking about it. Everything else I'd love for someone else to take care of. But that's just me. Like, you've got to lean into the thing that you enjoy that feels like your own personal artistic expression, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that, to be honest. Like, like for me, like it's different camera angles. It's using a 360 cam and doing, shoving hot dogs in my mouth. Like it's just it's
normal stuff from like that.
Yeah. And like I think that's a very good point, because like I think there are other creators out there, even like for yourself, and like it's like the expression of just what you feel about the song. And I think there's a perfect market for that as well. I think there's a lot of people out there that need to hear that kind of style of content, where there's a lot of people that just want entertainment as well. So like I think there's both value in a lot of that stuff. And like even that, like I mean, I do reactions, reviews, and yeah, some of it's not, the whole technical thing. I make up words for some of the breakdowns that are coming through, and it's like, yeah, it's a little silly and nonsensy, but I like the way that like either or like somehow some people express themselves of like what they feel for the music, or like going down lyric holes and stuff like that, and like the meaning to that. So like there's definitely a need and space for that, for sure. I like that.
Totally. There's also like when you were talking about not liking short form content, I was actually the same at the beginning, but basically, I don't know, for me, my personal experience, 5 years of doing this, and then if I'm just doing the same thing all the time, I'm going to get bored. How do I evolve as a creator? So then I think it was January last year when I started really changing my edits. Well, I started doing short form content because I knew that's where the trend was going. So I started editing, and I knew the attention span is much shorter. So I started doing like quick edits. I'm like, this is what you do on TikTok, so it's whatever. But then I got used to it, and then I brought that editing style to my main YouTube platform. Now I'm doing a bunch of edits, and now I fell in love with the process of like doing like cinematic editing rather than just like my point is just like I kind of evolved, so I kind of understand where you're coming from. So I don't know, maybe I'll give you like a year. You're going to be doing short form content to a whole bunch of blast beats to Lauren Short.
I'm going to do amazing edits to knock loose stuff, and it's going to be fucking it's very possible. All we have is
the Steve character arc is incoming. I can't wait to see it. We're gonna have the epic cinematic music in the background, Steve talking about how he doesn't like short form content. And then it's gonna just be like shorts everywhere. Steve, 1 million followers on TikTok.
As opposed to the video in like 6 months, it's just short.
Burbis, great point. Like this,
dude. You know what you should do? Like, sorry to cut you off here, but like, even I know you don't like making shorts and like short form content, but like, you could literally like click on your video, and I think there's like a little tab thing that you said that you can kind of click within your video. It says like making a short form content, and you just put a selection of what you want, even if it's just your face going towards it. Like it's literally a click, and then it just gets like pushed out there as a short. Like put the right title on there with the right like kind of like clickbaity stuff. It doesn't even have to have the video at the top or the bottom or stuff like that. Just to start getting it in the feed of shorts, I think could probably even go a long way as well.
I appreciate the tip. Thank you for that. I mean, I do some short form stuff. It's largely at the moment, it's just in live music reviews. So I'm reviewing like one band set. That's not like a 10-minute video. I'll do like a minute of just like, here's the band, here's what it was. And I do that because I value the content, the conversation, and that thing. But like to Burb's point, you're dead right. This is me in a snapshot right now. This is all of us in a snapshot right now. We might be very different creators a year from now or 2 years from now. Who knows, right? That's part of the joy of it. But I think there's a good chance that there might be some people watching this who are either early reactors themselves or interested in maybe starting their own channel. And what I just want to double down on the point that we were making earlier, that like, go with what you enjoy to start with, at the very least to start with, because it might be that if I just go hard on shorts, for example, and I put all my time and energy into that, maybe that will grow my channel enormously, go bananas. And that might make me the biggest, most successful reactor of all time, right? I'm obviously exaggerating here. Maybe. But if that's not what I enjoy, I might not actually feel the benefit of that personally and feel like that's something I want to do. I feel like I'm pigeonholed and I must do mad edits and the rest. And that's not actually what gives me energy. So of the two paths, I'm comfortable with going, you know what? I'm going to stick with doing what I'm doing because it's sustainable and I enjoy it. That's the whole point of when I first started. It's like, I'm going to do this because I think it'll be fun, not because I think, oh, maybe I'll get like 100,000 subs or 1 million subs, whatever it is.
Yep.
And that, I think, is, if you're interested in doing the stuff that we're doing, and why we ended up having these conversations, because we're doing this kind of content, go with what you enjoy. That is the beauty of what you could add to the conversation and the discourse.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
The amount of people, the reactors, I'm sure we've all seen it, who fell off, right? They were like, some of them blew up. Some of them got a little bit viral. They got massive subs. Like, whoa, this channel's taking off. And then all of a sudden, they got 15 seconds of fame and they can't keep their views up. Or they just stop doing reactions.
They may have found that, I'm getting so much views from doing reactions to, by the way, in my past, BTS. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just do more and more of that. I'll get fucking tons of views. Yeah, but I don't enjoy listening to this stuff. Like, so you go, you know what, reaction is not for me. No, you just didn't choose the right path that's going to sustain you. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's any production value compared to Falling in Reverse, it's probably like BTS and like all those like K-pop bands for sure.
Yeah.
Where's Blackpink when you need them, when they're spending like $2 million on a music video?
Blackpink is sick, man.
Yeah,
great. Got some solid,
but their music
Dude,
videos
they're
don't look
making
as good as
metal
Falling.
songs out of that.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck yeah. But there's some Blackpinks. How you like that? There's like a breakdown metal version of that. It's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice. No,
I swear that Memphis May
storage.
Fire song is just a K-pop song. Which one was it?
Oh, I love
The one that you
song.
really like. I know.
Oh yeah, I think you rated us or something like that. And I'm like, what'd you think of this? And you're like, or no, I think I called you about that as well.
Is that a new one?
I don't call Burb all the time, just so you guys. I just
Every morning, Burb, how are you? How are you doing? Are you thinking of me?
Those were the only 2 calls we've had in the last like 6 months.
What are you wearing today? I don't want to clash. I don't want to clash with your outfit.
What are you wearing on your reaction today? I don't want to clash with that.
Oh, you're wearing black too? God damn.
Yeah. Did you shave today? No. Okay.
You wearing a BLEGH t-shirt? No. Well, listen, folks, it has been a joy to have our very special guest today, Ohrion. Thank you so much for your time and your input. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you to everyone who's been watching this. Do feel free to subscribe if you've enjoyed this. Let us know in the comments some thoughts you've had on anything we've discussed here. Thank you very much, folks. See you the next episode very soon.
Peace.
Bye.